I'm Amy Huber, and I teach second grade at Tanglewood Elementary School in the Central Community School District. I teach a class that's considered an inclusion class. I have several children in here that have IEPs. I also have 2 LEP children. Due to all the different abilities and talents mixed in this class, it's always important that I differentiate the instruction and allow for a lot of different choices. That's why you're seeing so much movement in the classroom, as well as various groupings. In today's lesson, we were continuing our exploration of habitats and food chains. The children have learned a lot about different habitats, so I decided today we were going to get specific about food chains in different habitats. Not only were the students supposed to choose their animals and put together a food chain, but they were given a catastrophic event or some kind of situation that was going to put a glitch in the food chain. And I wanted to see if they could use one of our reading skills we've been working on, and that's drawing conclusions, to see how that event is going to affect the entire habitat. At the beginning of today's lesson, I wanted the kids to have a lot of choices, so I had some cards with various animals and plants, and they were all mixed up. We've been studying habitats, so I wanted the children to pick a card and then try to group themselves according to the habitat of where they would find that plant or animal. Here. So I need everybody to look at your card for a moment and think, where does this animal live? And make sure that you're standing with people who have animals that live in the same place as you, or plants. Some of y'all have plant cards. Okay? Are y'all finding yours together? Don't take that from him, please. Why not? Well, think about this though. We talked about food chains already. Remember talking about the food chains? What else is in that?
Stashed his finger in the door, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I still took him to the nurse, and he was jumping. He can't go into the office like that, yelling and jumping. So like, come on, tough. You're all right.
Well, a snake is supposed to eat a mouse. Hey, I can see one
Okay, boys and girls, some of you, let's hit the pause button for a moment. Some of you are still working on getting all of your cards in the order of the food chain, in the order where energy is passed from the sun all the way to the largest animals, right? If you are done with that, and I see some of y'all are done, an extra activity that you can do with those cards before we move on while my last couple groups are working. In this bucket, we have some cards that say consumer, producer. Oh, who said that? You made an inference. Why do you think one of them's going to say predator?
Because I saw it in the bucket.
Oh, you saw it. I thought you were guessing. Well, predator is in the bucket. Can you guess something else that might be in the bucket?
Prey.
Prey. Yes, somewhere in here, and I don't put my hand on it right now, is the word prey. Because we know when we have predators, what else do we have?
Prey.
Okay, if you are finished lining up all your animals in the food chain, feel free to come and get some cards if you want to line up next to your animals and plants to see. Okay.
We need a lot of prey. We need a predator. Everything that's producer. Everything right here. Wait, this is producer. Oh yeah, you're great. Where's producer? Oh, do that. Start off and try. Wait, no. Pray. You're great.
we're going to share now. What we're going to do is we're going to look at each different group, and I want y'all to tell us the order that you chose for your food chain. Tell us each animal. I want you to start at the bottom of the food chain and work all the way to the top. The top of the food chain is the animal that doesn't get eaten by any of the other animals. Okay, so tell us about your food chain now.
The fox eats the owl, and the owl eats the frog, and the frog eats the cricket, and the cricket eats the mushrooms.
Okay, I agree with what you said, but that would mean Michael. Can you guys stand on the other side of Hannah so that we can see? Okay. All right, now let's say it one more time.
The owl eats the frog, and the frog eats the cricket, and the cricket eats the mushrooms.
Interesting. What do y'all think about that?
I agree.
Y'all agree?
Yeah.
Well, I don't agree about the cricket eats the mushroom part.
You don't think crickets eat mushrooms? We would have to look that one up. What do you think crickets eat?
I just don't think they eat mushrooms because it's poisonous. I'm pretty sure for a lot of people. So I don't think big crickets really eat mushrooms that much.
Are all mushrooms poisonous? Not the kind on my pizza, huh?
Some white.
Yeah, so maybe they eat some and not others. You think so? Are you right? The next step was a little bit of a surprise for the kids. I decided I was going to throw a glitch into their nice, neat little food chains. So everyone was given a card that had some kind of catastrophic event, and they had to read the event and decide how that would affect their food chain. Some of these events affected the lower end of the food chain. So the kids had to draw the conclusion that if something on the bottom of the food chain gets destroyed, then that really affects a lot of different animals. One group had a catastrophic event that only affected the top of the food chain. And that was a surprise to them when they heard some of the other groups sharing. Rainforest. I want you to read that card and see how is that going to change your habitat.
Okay, come here. A huge rainstorm came and
How would that change what you have already? Let's lay out your cards for your food chain right here.
There was I think how the dance would change was like the dirt.
Now I want you to look and see what part of the food chain might be affected if a large group of flowers moves into the rainforest.
Or the stuff I do not want to say.
Okay, watch.
I said the tigers and
Thinking that's why do you think they're not
they're almost
Interesting. I like that thinking. What do you think about that, Kyle? You agree too? That's an interesting idea.
They don't live in the
Insect poison. So who's that going to affect? Okay, can we leave these out in the order that they would fall into?
The algae blocks the sun. So that's why the fish eats the algae and makes it all go away.
I'm going to hit the pause button. I had the wonderful opportunity to come around and have you tell me about your food chains and how they were affected. But everybody else didn't get to hear all that. So very quickly, I want you to share with the class what you shared with me.
A poison algae called red tide has moved into the Arctic Ocean.
Okay, and how did y'all think that was going to affect your food chain?
Because the plankton eats algae, but this one is poison allergy, so it would affect them.
Algae.
Algae.
Algae. Okay, I know that's a tricky one.
Algae.
Okay.
So it'll affect them. And if the krill don't eat that, they're gonna die. And it's gonna affect the fish. And then the penguin, if the fish are dead, then the penguin's gonna die. And then I don't think the seal's gonna die.
Why do you think?
Because like he might be on a rock or something.
Okay. Does anybody have an idea on that? Logan's throwing something out there, but I could tell from his voice he wasn't exactly sure. Do y'all agree with that?
Yeah. No.
Some do, some don't? Okay. Why don't you agree with that?
Because
I'm
fish.
talking about the seal part.
Well, because the fish will die because they don't have anything to eat. Well, they could find something.
He's talking about
Okay,
the
but
seal, baby. not
Logan
the-
was talking about the seal probably won't die because it'll go up into the rocks and on the ice. That's the part I'm asking. You seemed unsure about that, right? So I'm just asking if other people agree. What do you think about that, Emma?
That the poisonous stuff can get on the ice and rocks.
Okay.
And that the seals could die, but the orcas won't because they could move far away from it.
Oh, interesting idea. So you think they can move farther away? How come all these other things can't move farther away? How fast does an orca swim compared to krill?
Really fast.
You think it swims faster than krill?
Feels like
Possibly.
50 miles.
You think it swims faster, Mia?
Mhm.
Why do you think an orca might swim faster than
30
a mackerel?
Because it's bigger.
It's bigger, isn't it?
And
It's a
the
lot
other
bigger.
ones are a little bit slower than because they're smaller.
Right, right. Okay, smaller doesn't always mean faster because some of y'all are probably faster than me. But in the ocean, generally the larger animals can move a little bit faster. They have a lot more strength in their tails. Right. All right, y'all did a wonderful job today of drawing conclusions and of using what you already knew about food chains and applying it to how things could change. I'm very impressed. Does anybody have any questions about how this works?
No, ma'am.
Do you think in real life things happen that affect the food chain?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Do you think these cards with these different scenarios or different events that happen, do you think those are things that really could happen?
Yes, ma'am.
Sure they could. There are a lot of different things. That's why they say it's a tough world out there, huh? All right. Good job. I would like, in the end, I wanted the children to draw some conclusions, which they did a really good job of. They also had to see how real life events affect not just one animal or plant, but a whole line of animals and plants. The kids decided that these events really are true to life events that could happen. And in the future, we're going to be talking about conservation, and I really want the children to remember everything they learned today and how it applies to conservation. How when we're doing one thing and we think that we're only going to affect a small population of the environment, we can really affect an entire habitat.